Hi there, Les Sinclair for GoMobiler.com, here to talk today about how QR codes work. Now you might say, what is a QR code, Les? That's this little square right here. You may have seen them on many printed items. They're in the newspapers a lot. You see them on direct mail like this piece. And they're essentially a square with 3 boxes in them and some pixelation in the middle. And they contain information that will take the mobile user to a website or a Facebook page or something like that. But we'll first talk about what the QR code is. It came from Toyota, developed in Japan many years ago, and has exploded recently in the United States. That's why so many marketers are using them. That and the fact that the marketers can direct folks to a specific action with a QR code. So what's the good, the bad, and the ugly of a QR code? We'll start with the ugly. The ugly is that you need an app for one of these and a smartphone. Start with that. Or a mobile device. You could actually use a tablet. I know many of the iPads come with the ability to download apps and have a camera on them. That's all you need. So those are a couple of hurdles. And as you know, anytime you increase the number of steps, you increase the likelihood that the person will bail out and not do what you want them to do. So that is part of the ugly as well. There are a multitude of steps. When you see one of these, you've got to first verify that it's a QR code. There are a couple different versions. Microsoft has one of their own as well. You might see that prevalent in some of the hardware stores like Lowe's. So there you go. You've got to identify which one it is. Then you've got to have the right app for it, because Microsoft has a different app than many of the other readers. Then you've got to scan it and download the information. Those are the bad moves. All right. Once you've accomplished that, though, it's a pretty nifty marketing device because it's very utilitarian. As a business owner or as a person who's doing some marketing, you can utilize the QR code to have the user do a specific action. It could be anything from liking your Facebook page or joining your Twitter feed. You can have it to call you. You could go to a personal web page or a splash page or a form to fill out. That's what's beautiful about a QR code, is that you can really manage the direction of the user. And that's what makes it a very powerful tool. And we'll take a look at a couple of QR codes, one that works and one that doesn't, coming up next. This is essentially the way it works. QR code, phone. We've got to find our app, which is right there. And it starts scanning right away. And we'll take a picture of the QR code, and it will take us to a website. Now this website, as you can see, goes right there. It looks fairly good on the phone. It's got a few pictures there, some big ones. And the problem I see with it is that the navigation bar is very small. We can tell that there's writing there, but we can't tell what it is. In fact, it looks like a survey just popped up, and we can't quite tell what that is either. So we as mobile user have to stretch that and move it around. Now, if you're designing one of these for yourself, you have to know mobile users don't like doing that. And you can see that this thing has a very small button. So these, for our fat-fingered friends like myself, can't get in there to touch those very easily. Again, you got to pinch and stretch in order to get it to the size that you want, and we'll see how this thing reacts. That's actually pretty good, which brings up your keyboard. All right, so the survey is not necessarily good, and if we wanted to get rid of the survey, we wouldn't be able to do so easily, because we'd have to pinch and stretch and find the X and finally get rid of the thing. So there, we've gotten rid of it, and we've stretched enough. We must have touched another button because it's not mobile-friendly website. Now again, you can see the nav bar up top, and you got to pinch and stretch in order to even know what's going on. So as a QR code, this one wasn't so good. Let's talk a little bit about what went wrong with it. It's not a mobile-enabled website. It's not optimized for a mobile device, and that includes tablets too. So this is hard to maneuver on, and we know as users, and the research has shown, that when it's hard to maneuver, people don't like it. They'll back out of it, and then they'll never come again, or worse yet, they'll go to your competitor. Now, this WishWish website, again, we're back to the home page now, and it looks pretty with the big pictures. These are fantastic. The small pictures are not so good. The navigation bar is terrible. The buttons are not very mobile friendly either. So as far as a QR code campaign goes, wish, wish, unfortunately, gets a fail. Okay, and here we are with the second QR code. Again, got to do the smartphone thing, open the QR reader, and it will start scanning right away. It focuses on the QR code, and then it'll take us to a web page. And the web page is what we're going to focus on. It loads the web page fairly quickly, and the good news is this looks to be a mobile-enabled website. It looks a lot like an application that you would download and use. It's got 4 buttons across the top. It's a nice logo that is very readable. Everything on the page is very readable. And then you go down, and this is even very readable with the information that's there. You go down a little further, and these are buttons that will take you to more information. And scroll down a little more, you can see that all of these pages are mobile friendly. You can use your fat finger and press them. Even the icons for Facebook, Twitter, and Pinterest are mobile friendly. And they do something really smart here on this Peach Mac site. Right here it says view full website. Now that's handy if you're on a mobile device like an iPad, which some of those full websites render just fine on. It doesn't happen to work so well on a phone, but it does happen to work pretty well on some of the tablets, especially the larger ones. And maybe on your phone you'd want to skim over to the full site just for the fun of it, or maybe there's some information there that you don't mind pinching and scanning for. So this Peach Mac definitely gets a pass. So you've seen a couple of examples of QR codes, one that works and one that didn't so well. And what we know about them now is that you should move forward with the QR code campaign if it's something that interests you. One of the things that these businesses did not do, which you might want to do, is include a shortened link, a hyperlink, if you will, of information that'll go to the same place that this QR code will go. I know that Bitly, for instance, has a link shortener, which can actually take a really long website address and shrink it down to a dozen or so characters. Another thing you might want to do is include the ability to download an app. You can send them right to the app of your choice or the website of your choice so that they can download a QR reader if they don't have one. They do not come standard in most of the smartphones yet. The other thing that you absolutely positively must do, and that is if you're going to do a QR code campaign, you must have a mobile optimized site. You must take them from the QR code to a mobile optimized site. If they don't like it, they will leave. That's what we know. And the likelihood is they're going to go to your competitor, which is bad news, and then they'll talk badly of you or not talk of you at all. So you want to make sure that you have a mobile enabled site when you do any QR code marketing. There you go. Now you know. I'm Les Sinclair for GoMobiler.com, which is where you can get more information, and I'll see you around on the web.